Auto Fire Power Hour. Quick hit! What's so quick?
Quick hit!
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
So Nintendo has a new system coming out. There's a new Nintendo coming.
Yeah, I heard something. Heard a little something.
I heard a little pin drop across the internet.
Yeah.
So Nintendo Switch. First of all, I want to talk about the name. I know the Wii was a dumb name at first. I know that all names are dumb at first.
Well, wait. Before we talk about the name,
Okay.
what do you think about the way that they did it and the fact that they're showing it now in October and it comes out in March, missing the buying period, missing the holiday season?
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll get to that.
Okay.
I just want to get this point with the name. It sucks. I think it's really stupid. I think it's really stupid.
So I read a comment about somebody that's like, "Oh, I heard Adrian Peterson already pre-ordered it."
Yeah, that's sounds about right. Yeah, I don't know. Like it sounds like edgy to me, but like edgy in quotation marks, like the dumb kind of like super marketing
kind of edgy,
like the marketing team kind of edgy shit. I know that.
I hate to break it to you, but that sounds like the kind of edgy that COD players
Sure. Yeah, I think
flock to.
it's probably a fair point. But yeah, I think the name sucks. I would have been fine with just NX.
Yeah, me too.
But whatever. So yeah, it's the new system to me is like the full evolution of the Wii U, because it's like it looks exactly like the Wii U except for you can now take your thing anywhere that you want to go.
Right, kind of slammed against a DS.
Yeah, it's almost like the Wii U is like a proof of concept, and this is like the final version of it that they wanted to release the whole time, maybe.
Right.
One of the things I think is really interesting, talking about how, speaking of evolutions of Wii U, but the dock where you put the system in covers the screen. So it's as if they're just straight up telling you, like, nope, not a Wii U.
Yes.
This is not what this does.
Yeah.
Either play this on your TV or play it on the go, and that's
no
it.
headaches with this system.
Yeah, which I think is really it's cool, and it's about time, because I don't think they ever really, with the exception of a couple really good games like Wonderful 101, and even that had its problems with the gamepad. But other than that, they didn't really do much with it. There's some asymmetric multiplayer stuff that was really fun in Nintendo Land and stuff, but beyond that, Zombie U is neat, and that's basically it.
We're eventually going to release a treasure game where just on a side note, where I say that Guardian Heroes is the best beat 'em up of all time.
Fair enough.
Wonderful 101 is the best beat 'em up of all time.
Oh, man. Yeah, that game was really, really, really good. And it used the gamepad, and I think if you look back at the entire library of the Wii U, that's the one that
I think is the best game on the Wii U.
It nailed it in terms of like making this an experience that you cannot get anywhere else in any other system. I mean, you could have done it on a 3DS, but obviously wouldn't have looked as beautiful as it was. But yeah, there was just not enough. There wasn't enough of that on the Wii U. But whatever, that's cool. The new system clearly looks like it's more of a traditional system. It just does things in an untraditional way.
Yep. I like that their introduction to the system, it really focuses on just games, right?
Yeah.
Because the one thing I probably used the Wii U for more than anything else was Netflix.
Okay. Yeah.
And which is kind of sad.
Yeah, but you also don't own any other console.
True. So that was my access to
that was
easy access Netflix.
Your streaming device was your Wii U.
But one of the things that I hated about the Wii U is that, if you're using another controller, if you're using a video app or whatever, you have this fucking glowing controller sitting on the couch.
That's super annoying.
He's just shining in your eyes.
And the Netflix app on it, you couldn't
turn it off.
You couldn't disable it, right?
Yeah.
And there were so many. I mean, this is like almost like a whole other thing to talk about with the Wii U, but. The Netflix thing is probably the best example of really, really phoning it in. And why would you not phone it in? I mean, there's only like 10 million or 12 million people who have the thing.
Yeah.
Compared to the millions.
Nobody uses it.
Yeah. So you can, nobody I know uses it exclusively. Oh well. Anyway, but back to the Switch. The trailer itself had a lot of really good-looking young people.
I loved that part of it. The lady at the end who's playing Mario, the new Mario,
right,
which we get our first shots of.
Yes, and it looks awesome.
And it looks Nintendo 64-ish.
Yep.
Which makes me happy. I
like
know
Mario
you love
128,
3D World.
Yeah,
I did not like 3D World.
Yeah,
I thought I was totally disappointed.
You famously told me that you liked the Sonic game more than that, which is something that we should probably discuss at a later date.
Yeah, I did.
But my favorite 3D Mario of all time, easily, without question, is Mario 64. So anything that hits those notes, I'm all about. I still believed in Mario 128. Damn it.
Well, listen. The best part about that scene, even though we get the first view of Mario, is that these actors that you pointed to are incredibly hot millennials.
Yeah. Yes. They're not
doing things that millennials do.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but millennials have makeshift parties on the roofs of
and they all
buildings.
That's where they all are.
Cities.
That's where they all are. They're all on the rooftops.
And if you're not there and you're a millennial and you're young and hot, you wish you were there.
You of course, but you're busy spreading STDs via Tinder. So that's good for them. Can you imagine if they did this video though with like the actual, with like the Nintendo fan base? So you'd have multiple balding men in their mid-30s, 250 to 300 pounds, ranging on their height.
So I mean that's not altogether true, right? So like there's a millennial Nintendo fan base that grew up on DS.
And 64 DS, all that stuff, yeah.
And the 3DS, and still uses it. And there's a lot of them out there, and they're all younger than us.
I don't think I totally disagree. I mean, I'll give you that there's a lot in there's more than 10, obviously, but come on, dude. Nintendo is like an our generation company. They're one of the main reasons. I am a part of an internationally touring musical act. And own a silly amount of fucking amiibos.
So, let me put it this way. Why I'm disagreeing with you, right? I only have anecdotal evidence.
Okay.
But my niece, well, let me count them. 4 of my nieces and nephews own a DS, have owned a DS for a while, and played all the time and love it, and ask for games for Christmas. Okay. Their ages are ranging from 7 to 14, right? The DS and the 3DS have sold millions of units in the US.
I'm not ever going to dispute that, obviously.
And those are not going to guys our age. Those are going to kids.
That's true.
Those are going to kids that became of age to play video games from 97 to...
I really wasn't considering the DS. That's a really good point. I mean, these kids who grew up playing the Pokemons on DS and all these other things on DS, that's something that...
So there's an audience for it.
Yeah. And if they're all not, bumping ketamine at the rave and having premaritals on Tinder, not giving a shit at all about any video games, if they are still invested in video games, then that's their frame of reference of where they're coming from is totally the DS.
Well, and there's a scene in the commercial where these guys are playing Mario Kart in the car.
Yeah.
On the way to an event that they're doing, right? Because millennials are active, apparently.
Yeah.
Assholes.
Just makes me so mad, and I don't believe they're active.
Bunch of jerks. And I just thought that was an excellent, like, I don't know if this is going to be just an accessory or what, but there's like it's holding onto the seat. There's this bar coming off. It's kind of hanging out there. They're pulling these little tiny controllers, which are totally usable for Mario Kart.
Right.
And they're just sort of playing while they're going. It looks easy to set up. It looks easy to carry around. It looks...
One of the most exciting things to me is where you see the two screens and they're like facing, they're in the middle of a table facing out, and there's like a group on one side and the group on another, and they're playing what looks to be like a basketball game. But I could just see any sort of game where you're trying to hide something from somebody. So like, Battleship at the very base core.
Right.
That's going to open up all kinds of really cool multiplayer possibilities that I'm definitely interested in.
I would say this in high school, right?
Yeah.
If it gets to kind of third-party sports and all these other, games, right? That make a system successful, even though we hate them.
Mm-hmm.
But let's pretend like our experience as high school kids is similar to like a cool guy's experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like we would skip school to go to the beach, or
right? Okay,
right. How cool would it have been for us to like just
ditch
snap
school and have our Dreamcasts with us?
No, listen to me. Yeah, right. So skip school, drive to the beach, and just snap this screen there to play Soul Calibur 2 while we're driving to the beach.
While we're sunning and funning.
While we're making Peter drive to the beach, and we're in the back playing Mario Kart 64.
Yeah, that sounds like heaven on earth, man.
Right. So now, kids nowadays, it looks like, will be able to do that. But maybe their game isn't, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Maybe their game is the newest NBA game.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean,
or a soccer game.
Yeah, I just think that the applications of that is really awesome now, because you're taking like home console quality of experience and being able to do that anywhere. One of the things that excites me the most by far out of this entire thing is the fact that you now have Nintendo handheld development teams, and you have the console teams, and they're all working together to make games for the
They merged the development teams.
So we're talking, I'm a huge fucking unapologetic Pokemon fan. I don't look like I should be, but brother, I am. And just having a home console quality Pokemon game to play on my TV is like, that alone is reason for me. As if I wouldn't have already bought the fucking thing. I mean, now.
And I think it's obvious. Like, they are moving to a situation where this will be what you buy.
Yeah.
And every game released will come out for this.
Yeah, exactly. It's for years. If you were a Nintendo fan, you'd have to spend money on a home system and a handheld, and it's been that way since the Game Boy and the NES. So. By merging those two things and having it all be one-stop shop, it's just going to make things more convenient. I'm assuming we'll streamline everything from them on a business standpoint too.
So I have some concerns though. Battery life.
Oh yeah,
major concern.
That's, I think, the biggest one.
Yeah. So the CPU that they're using from all accounts is going to be the Tegra 2, which is unreleased. Or Tegra 3. Yeah. Which is unreleased, but very, very powerful processor.
Is that something those Tegra chips are used in, like
top-end tablets?
Okay,
top-end tablets. Got it. So this would be the next generation of that, and computing is getting to the level nowadays where a very, very, very small, low-power chip can do a lot of computations.
Yeah. Well, just the other day I saw a 1 terabyte micro SD card.
Right.
Like, I know that's different. That's not processing, but just the fact that it's dinky technology.
So you know what that is? It's actually it's called 3D NAND technology. Mm-hmm. So like a flash drive has just one layer.
Yeah.
And it puts the data down on that layer, and it's instantaneous read and writes. Mm-hmm. What they did is they basically turned that on a side and went like this, layer.
Yeah.
It's kind of in a 3D form, but they can read the electrons going in and out between the layers.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Super interesting. But anyways, so we'll see what the battery life is.
Yeah.
My other question.
Them going cartridge though is good for battery life. So I'm really glad that. And
yes.
Speaking of 1 terabyte micro SD cards, the fact that they can make cartridges, small form factor cartridges that will be able to hold like really
much
really
bigger than any game released on PS4 or Xbox One.
Yeah. So
for cheap.
Hopefully,
no,
but it will be obviously. They're not gonna release games that are gonna be more than $60. They might even be. They might even, 3DS games, like the most expensive ones, typically are only $40. So we might see video games go back down to $50 a pop on this thing, which would be awesome.
Well, because CDs and Blu-rays and etc. will be obsolete soon.
Yeah.
It's just not becoming economically feasible to use that media.
Yeah.
Although, especially because of the size it creates and the device you have to.
Yeah, but there are shelf queens out there, and that's a term I stole from my buddy Graham. But
that's a good one.
And to your point, like a lot more games that wouldn't have seen a disc release are now seeing it because there is. I mean, look at how big video game collecting is.
Right.
It's huge, and they know that there's a market for people who want to buy some stuff. So, I'm with you long term. Obviously, discs, all optical media is going to go away, but in the interim, and by that probably I mean like the next 5-15 years, somewhere in there, discs are still going to be made. But anyway, we're bird walking. Back to the Switch. Yeah, I think it's a good step.
So I have more concerns. So, and then what apps are available? Mm-hmm. Right? It's got to have Netflix. It's got to have Amazon.
I think all that stuff, that's all given.
But how does it work, and what's the interface look like?
Yeah.
What is is it easy to use, etc., etc. I imagine it will be.
Yeah, I'm sure all of that stuff is
internet browsing.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it have all these other tablet features? I mean, look at them.
But how does it work? I mean, the Wii U had it too, but it's absolutely terrible.
The web browser?
Yeah.
I actually think the web browser on the Wii U is awesome. I used it all the time.
No, it's in my opinion, for any console to have an effective web browser, or be able to play YouTube or any of these other plugins that you would get from a normal browser.
Yeah.
It just has to do the same thing. Otherwise, I have no interest in fucking using it on my TV. I'll go use my computer or my laptop.
Oh yeah, you're talking about the various plugins that for example on I used to use the PS3 web browser all the time to try to stream different videos and stuff, and a lot of times there'd be hangups.
Right.
But on the Wii U's web browser, I just loved going to look up the FAQ or walk through or whatever, and just being able to go in and out from the game to that super fast was really handy, and I actually used it all the time.
Right.
But yeah, I think all your concerns are they're valid and stuff like that, and we just don't know. It's months out. I saw today that they, I think it's according to one of the bigger. It's a Wall Street Journal actually. There won't be any more information about anything until early next year. Or no, I shouldn't even say early next year. They just said next year. So
really?
This is all the information we're going to get is the one trailer that they release. So they're not going to talk about the new Mario. They're not going to talk about any other functionality of the system. So
that seems about right.
Yeah. I think it's kind of interesting that they actually. So they waited until almost the very end of this year to go. I mean, thinking of the whole year and all the different quarters and stuff like that. We're getting pretty close to the end, and they waited till now to show it off or whatever, and then they're just not gonna say anything. It's I think there's.
Do you know what their fiscal year is?
Well, does Q1 always starts in or ends in.
There's calendar Q1, which is going to start in January.
Yeah.
A lot of companies.
Oh, I think they're. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I want to say it ends in March of 2017.
Okay.
So that makes sense because then they're going to try to get the sales of this thing to really pad out the if it launches really well and successfully.
Right. Okay. So my other interesting fact is at no time in the trailer does somebody touch the screen. Yeah, there and there's also
is there touch? Is there multi?
There's also there's no stylus either. They never take a stylus out, which could be cool because that would, if it is touch, then it would finally be capacitive, where you could do like an iPad or whatever, or an iPhone, like you can do multi-touch, which is something that I feel like they've been even though they kind of innovated games using a touchscreen in the modern sense, like they just never. Those things were too expensive, and they just stuck with the old school stylus and stuff like that.
I just feel like it has to be multi-touch. Or it doesn't have to be touch at all. I mean, I think it'd be kind of weird, considering like everything else that kind of fits in that space, like the tablet, smartphone space. everything across the board has touch, and just screens in general now have touch, and that's what people are used to. But the thing, it looks like it's gonna be really powerful. It comes like, I'm assuming it comes with all these other, like the TV dock and like maybe that little controller shell thing that you plug the little side deals onto. But I mean, like, it could be pretty expensive, and a way to cut down costs would be to get rid of touch. I mean, they've been making touch software since 2004 with the DS, so they've been doing it for a really long time. And I could see maybe them wanting to take a break from it and use it as a cost-cutting measure. But I think most likely it will be touch, just because everything else is. But who knows? But it's cool that we finally know now. It's out of the shadows. Is there anything else you're pumped on or want to talk about with this thing?
The only other thing I would just maybe end with is I think it's fucking looks awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited for it, and I'm definitely excited for having all of those different Nintendo teams working to make software for one platform. It's about time. And in a way, it's almost like it's like full power Nintendo. Like it's they're unshackled to be topical.
Yeah, and we'll see what the software lineup is. We'll see what sort of markets they go after.
Yeah.
with what games they're going to launch with.
I think we're going to see, and the video kind of proves it. We're probably going to see a lot of like Wii U double dips, which I'm fine with as long as they add a bunch of additional content to them.
Right.
Like the Mario Kart in the video, it showed had did the double items like double dash.
Yep.
So that's something that give me more tracks, whatever. It could look exactly the same because I'm not at all disappointed with how Mario Kart for Wii U looks.
It looks fantastic.
So they just gave me more tracks and maybe more racers and like the double dash gimmick. Then that's more than enough for me to buy that game again. Smash Brothers, which they're rumored to port to it. I don't know. That's kind of a different thing because I have already invested some money in the additional characters and stuff. So it would have to be really crazy for me to buy it.
I've heard that this system might cost $300.
That's the sweet spot. It should. It really should be $300. Nothing more than that.
And some people were complaining about that. If this is really a high-powered tablet,
yeah,
and it has those internet features I was talking about earlier, that would be a no-brainer, right? Because high-powered tablets today can be more than $300.
Right.
Then with all the other capabilities, that even better. That being said, and what were you just talking about?
Nintendo Switch, baby. I don't know.
I'm gonna cut this part out.
Yeah, you probably are. So we should just. I'll just.
No, because there was something important I wanted to say.
We'll take a pause. Try to. You're gonna cut all this shit out. So if you want,
That's
just
true.
take a minute to think about it. We were talking about. So the Switch, if it's $300, and it has all these features and it's powerful. It's a no-brainer, and then there was a caveat I think you were going to add in there.
Right, so it's a no-brainer. What would be even more powerful to me, which would make me throw it on the money without even thinking, would be a connection to my Nintendo ID on the Wii U, so that I have access to download the Wii U games I already bought, and then just buy the DLC.
Yeah, that is going to be interesting to see, because that's been a huge complaint. And a justified complaint, like how fucked up all the Nintendo ID stuff has been. Like the fact that you can buy the same game on the Virtual Console and not get instant free access to it on the 3DS and the Wii U, I think is like just egregious.
I can tell you throughout my lifetime, I've bought the first Mario, like the NES.
Oh
Mario,
yeah.
At least 10 times.
That's everybody. That's seriously such a that's the thing that us as marks have done,
Yes.
and it's silly.
I don't feel like I need to buy Mario 1 again.
All that stuff is. I mean, they obviously have that information stored somewhere. So like, I think if I were a betting man, I would say that now's the time for them to really fucking be smart about that and let that happen. But in terms of you being able to get all your stuff again for free, I wouldn't completely hold your breath on that, because they have been charging anywhere from like $1.50 to $2 for you to re-download the stuff on the Wii U, and they just as a company they've never given any sort of reason to believe that they're going to change from that. But it would be nice. I'm just not getting my hopes up for that at all.
Yeah, I mean, I might even agree with or go along with a $1.50 download for games I bought on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Full price would be.
Full price is you just keep your Wii U.
Well, because here's my point. How many people bought a Wii U in the U.S.?
I think it's like 12 million maybe at the most.
At the most.
Yeah.
Right. I'm one of the Wii U owners that I bought over 20 games.
Yeah.
And then if you start including only downloadable content, indie games.
Yeah.
And
you bought pretty much all of your games you downloaded, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All of them downloaded, bought them online.
So because of that, if this wonderful pie in the sky utopia that we're talking about was true, then you're in a position to really benefit from that.
Yes.
Whereas dudes like me that only bought discs, like we're obviously fucked.
Yeah.
But I think we're both going to be fucked.
There's got to be.
I don't think they're going to do anything about it.
But there's got to be a way to figure that out, right? Like, there's got to be a way for them to associate your Nintendo ID with games that have been downloaded onto your Wii U.
Well, they can do that right now.
Yeah.
I own a 3DS and a Wii U, and my account is on both of those things.
Right.
And I have the thing set up for the smartphone apps too. Like it's all three of those things are all tied together in one thing now. And so that's there. It's sitting on some hard drive somewhere, and all they have to do is just flip a switch and have that stuff. Which I think it will be all connected. But in terms of being able to get stuff from them for no money, or even like a little bit,
dude, we're in agreement. They can do it.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah, they can do it.
Whether
or not will they do it, it remains to be seen. But yeah,
please understand.
Yeah, of course. So that's the Switch. Really stupid name. I want to end on that. How dumb the name is, but it's obviously in 4 years from now, it's going to be second nature to just say like, "Hey, bro, did you bring your Switch? Let's get down on some cart on our Switches, bro." But anyway, that's that.
I think the way they talk now is like, "Nah, man, we're on the Switch, man.
I'm on that Switch fleek.
You on that Switch?
I'm twitching for Switch."
You on that Switch?
You
want that Switch? Hey, man,
do.
turn on that Switch.
I want to mainline that Switch or do booty bumps of that Switch. You should look up booty bumps. You out there listening to this, look up booty bumps.
Yes.
All right, that's it for this time. See you on the next one.